Okay, welcome everybody. Super happy to have you here and to anybody who joins this through time and space. As an intro, I was asking our participants today what brings them here? What brings you here? Why are you here for more energy? What does that look like for you? And if you guys want to throw something in the chat, that would be great. And just asking yourself, what is it about this that speaks to you? What do you want more of in your life? Where do you want more energy? Are you feeling low energy physically? Is it more of an energetic within your body, within your spirit, within your mind? Are you feeling low in your mood and wanting to be a little bit higher frequency in general? And I was just saying to the people here live that these are not separate things, right? Like if we want to increase our physical energy, we're also going to increase our mental energy and boost our mood. Our spirit, so to speak, our mind, our spiritual self, the person that exists, our energy bodies, our spiritual bodies, none of these things exist outside of the physical body. We exist still within the physical body. We're not just a spiritual person, we're a spiritual person having the human experience, right? So these things aren't separate. They're not separate. A lot of people who signed up, I know many of you, and know that physical energy is a primary impetus for you today. So we're going to go through a few different things. And again, I would love to hear what brings you here today. So when we talk about energy, I'll just give you a little bit of a background on why this kind of came up for me. I decided to offer it in the spur of the moment because I was seeing so many people just on my feed, just random comments that I was seeing saying that they were just exhausted. They were constantly fatigued. And I know in the healer space, especially, like a lot of people in my feed are in the healer space. They're on the healing journey themselves, or they're practitioners of some description. And so many of us tend to have this kind of low energy, especially when really challenging things are happening. And we have lots of challenging things happening. The energy of our societal climate, our political climate, like there's a lot happening in the world right now, and there's a lot supporting the energy of transformation in like astrology and the sun and the solar flares and like all these things that are happening in all of our environment, not just our current, small personal environment, is really having an effect on people's energy because it's a lot. And those of us who are called to this work, we are feeling it more deeply than the average person, right? We are really attuned to this stuff, and we're really attuned to the energy of the people around us and globally and collectively. And a lot of us are going through our own transformations as a result. Like there's just a lot happening. There's a huge energy of transformation in the ethers right now. And the people that are going through it, like it's no small thing to go through transformation. I'm a little bit on the other side of it right now myself. Sorry, I'm just going to let a couple people in here. Um, like as early as a few days ago or last week, hi Mary, I was really feeling like the goo. This is the best metaphor I can come up with, is when the caterpillar enters the chrysalis, it literally becomes goo. It unbecomes its previous self in order to become something completely different. And while it's in that stage, it doesn't even know what it's about to become. It doesn't know what the next steps look like. It just knows that it's goo. And I felt that way, like on a big scale, because my life is completely changing. My vision, my purpose, my mission, even, I felt like I really knew what my mission was going into those phases. And then I got to this point where I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. And everything changed. I changed everything. I changed my offers. I changed the way I was showing up. I changed my idea of what I was meant to be here for, like everything. And that was huge. And so for a long while during that transitional phase, I really felt like the goo. I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was here. And then the energy expanded in all the stuff that comes up and the emotions of that. Like sometimes you come out of those sessions of emotional release and you're just exhausted, right? So life in general, for myriad of reasons, which is obviously going to be different for each of us, is exhausting people. So know that you're not alone, first of all. I'm just going to read a couple comments here. Exhausted and fatigued much of the time. So there's physical need for energy, but also I need more motivation, particularly when it comes to business. I'm so tired all the time. I'm not focusing on it the way I want to. It feels like I'm holding myself back. You're touching on some really big things here, Danielle, and I'll get into those. Don't have the emotional fortitude to push through difficult or scary things. Yeah. I have so much potential and a lot of great stuff I'm already doing, but I want to expand it. Beautiful. Yeah, we'll get there. Feel like a lot of energy is expended on kids, of course, yes. And then adding to moving, setting up a home, physically exhausted a lot, would like to feel more empowered to support my needs when my life is uncertain or in flux. Yeah, empowerment. So there's a big thing. I'm going to write a couple of these words down that I want to touch on. So empowerment. And what else did you bring up here, Danielle? Okay. Holding yourself back. That was the thing. Okay. So when it comes to energy, there's lots of different things, lots of different ways that we can increase it, lots of different ways that we can balance our energies and different things that affect us. And clearly, I'm not going to get to everything today. We have one single session to do this right now, and I'm just going to give you guys as much as I can, okay? So something that really actually surprised me when I started doing this work for myself, my number one factor was energy. I was not well. About 8 years ago or so, I got to the point where I was almost non-functional. Just my energy was being drained more and more and more, to the point where I could barely get up out of bed. I could barely trudge my way through the day to do the things that absolutely needed to be done. I had to sleep a lot. I was napping every day. I just felt like garbage and I didn't know why. And I had to make some major changes. And over the years, I've incrementally made changes. But the biggest thing that has affected my energy, my ability to show up, and the physical energy was doing what I needed to do for myself. Now, this sounds like maybe not that important or not that big or kind of like duh. When you are living in your purpose, you will be energized by the work you do. When you are not living in your purpose, you will be drained by the work that you do. So you will have heard, I'm sure, in various ways, people saying, what gives you life? What brings you life? How do you fill your cup? So if you guys want to throw in the chat, just anything, one thing, many things, whatever, that you feel energizes you. When you do it, you're excited, you're lit up, you're motivated, you feel great. And when you're done, you actually feel better instead of like that took energy from you. What's one thing? For me, it's sessions like this. And it doesn't matter. I'm one of those people that will be like, oh, I don't want to go to the thing. I don't want to go into a group of people. I don't want to go to this event or party. And then I get there and I love it and I'm having a great time. I'm one of those people. I show up in front of people like you guys. I do work like this and I get out of here and I'm like dancing. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm energized by that. Another one that I can do because I'm a singer is I sing. Literally anytime I'm feeling down, I can just go to the piano, or not even the piano. I can just sing any song and I instantly feel better because that's something that gives me life. Okay, for me it's running and doing past life regression sessions. Excellent. So you know that these things bring you energy, give you life. Creating art, dancing, meaningful conversations with my loved ones. Yes, beautiful. Being in a session, any modality with a client, that's my happy place, which is why the low flow is devastating. Okay. Yeah, so we recognize that there are things that bring us energy and give us life. Those things are directly attached to your purpose, your soul, and what you're meant to do here, right? You're doing this spiritual work with your clients, you're doing this spiritual work with doing past life regressions, and it feels good because it's meant to be, because that's part of your purpose here on earth as a creative, doing art, dancing, singing, whatever it is that is your thing, talking with people and they're better afterwards and seeing their smile because they're heard. Yes, so you're a connector. You like to connect with people. And I know that you're like me and going like, oh, I don't want to see people. But then when you see people and you make those connections and you feel the effect that your presence has on them, that brings you life, right? So on a bigger scale, if you can ask yourself, what is taking your energy now? What is one thing that does not bring you life, but it depletes you? And it's okay to say kids, guys. I know that our mom and our parental guilt will say, like, you can't say that your kids are draining your life and sucking you dry, but they take a lot of energy. They really do. So it's okay if that's part of it. And that's part of the lesson here is understanding and knowing what you have to give yourself to, what is a choice, what is not a choice. And within those choices, how do you set your boundaries? Like, I'm a mom and a wife, and I do a lot of domestic stuff. And a lot of that it takes a lot of energy. But the best part is that I get to set my boundaries and go, okay, now I need some time for myself. This is mom's quiet time. This is my alone time. I will help you as soon as I'm done. Things like that, where you can put boundaries into place, still fulfill your roles, still knowing that you're doing a good job and you're showing up for your family and your kids, but also having boundaries around where am I willing to give more of myself and where do I need to now give to myself. Okay, a draining situation, living situation, just got divorced, currently don't have the ability to move out. Yeah, okay, so every day, correct me if I'm wrong here, my understanding here, you're divorced, but you're still living together? Yeah, okay, so yeah, so you have an emotionally charged situation that is constantly in your periphery and in your environment. Of course, that's going to drain you. Of course, that's going to take energy. Yeah. When I need to do stuff that I have to do or should do. Yep. You guys are touching on a lot of stuff that I was planning on talking about, which is great. Having to do my muggle job to make money, of course. Yeah. So you're doing... Okay. So we'll talk to the first one, living situation, the energy around you. If you can recognize... Now, we're not going to fix everything today. Like, you're in a situation that's going to take some time to rectify. But you are understanding and aware of, this is what's happening and this is taking some of my energy. Where in that space can you stop leaks? Can you close loops? Where can you go, I'm no longer available to give my energy there? And it can be small, it can be tiny. So in your living situation, in your environment, speaking to the second point, same concept. When you have stuff that you need to do or should do, if you are putting things off, if you are procrastinating, anything that you need to do or should do that is not currently being done or in the process of being done, a little bit of your energy is going to that thing. The thought of, I need to do that. It's on your list, it's on your pile. I think of tasks and to-dos as a pile of stuff. And the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And if we don't take things off the pile, it will consistently get bigger and bigger to the point where we are literally drained of energy, even if we're not consciously thinking of this giant pile of shit that we have to deal with. It will drain your energy just from not doing anything about it. I've seen this. My sister is like this. She's got a huge pile all the time. She's got a big family and lots on her plate, but she consistently ignores that pile and it never gets any smaller. She's consistently drained of energy without even doing anything. So where is your energy going? Where are the leaks that you can stop? Where are the open loops that you can close? Okay, so I'm going to ask you that question now. What is one thing that you can change And it doesn't have to be the big things. So like the last point that you guys, or one of you brought up, was doing the muggle job. So you're doing every single day, assumedly, or however many days a week, you're going to do tasks, you're going to a job that does not feed your soul. And so it will take energy. If you think of yourself as a battery, you do things that fill you up: sleep, food, things that excite you, things that motivate you, things that feel good. You do things that take your energy, right? And the more you are putting energy into something else, the less you will have for the things that you want, right? So you might not be able to leave the muggle job right now, but where are places that you can close leaks? Okay, driving daughter to school and work and other places because she's been resistant to getting a license. Okay, this is hopefully changing the next month. Okay, so where can you put a boundary into place that maybe she can understand of, this actually is really difficult for me, or however you want to word it. Of course, I'm not putting words into your mouth. And it would make a really big difference to me if you were to get your license so that I can put more energy into what I need to do. Right? So again, with the boundaries, and you've done work on this, so I know that you know exactly what I mean. It's hard to hold boundaries and not be on demand, Mama Uber. Yeah. And boundaries can be expressed in a healthy and loving and compassionate way. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I'm so tired, go get your license so you can drive yourself. You know, you can, I mean, maybe that happens occasionally because you're just frustrated, but it can be presented in a loving and compassionate way. And another in the same situation, separated but living with your ex. Yeah, so I think often what happens is that we end up in a situation that becomes our norm, and we stop recognizing just how much it drains us, how much it affects us. And so both of you living with your exes, like that might have become a normal situation, or you just got used to it, you adjusted to it, but it's still draining you. It's still taking away from you. And so if you can't leave that situation now, at least recognize that that's what's happening. That's what it's doing to you. Don't just allow it to become wallpaper and this is just the way life is. No, this is a choice that you're making. And it might be difficult to make a different choice than that right now, but know that that is the effect it's having on you. And if you were to change that, you would change the effect, right? And make small changes. If you can't make the big change now, make small changes. Where do you need to express yourself? Where do you need to ask for the support? I'm just seeing a comment here for lack of the support. When you feel like you have to do it all yourself, and now you no longer have a loving partner who you are in communication with on an intimate level, that you can say, hey, look, this is what I need to feel supported from you because we're in a partnership. You're no longer in a partnership, you're in a roommate situation. And if that roommate is not supporting what you need, especially if you have kids in the house, and now you still are in a partnership, it's just the dynamic has changed, right? So how do you express what you need in order to get that energy back, in order to stop that leak? Okay, this is really good, guys. Thank you for sharing. Spending less time on your phone, use it to escape. Yeah. So awareness is going to be your number one thing here. As soon as you notice my energy is going to this thing, it's draining me, it's not giving me anything back. What can you do instead? If you've got, and we like to say, oh, we don't have time for this. Yeah, we do. I don't think there's a single one of us that doesn't spend some of our time wasting it on useless garbage like scrolling through social media, right? We've got the time. As soon as we're recognizing that, as soon as we have that awareness, we can go, okay, this is not giving me life. It is draining me. I'm going to put it down, and maybe I'll spend that 5 minutes in a meditation instead, or whatever. I'm going to go sing. I'm going to go dance. I'm going to go draw. I'm going to go whatever gives you life. Striving for ideal. Yeah. Yes. Things you should let go of. Yes. Yes. Are you guys all in the Northern Hemisphere? Yeah. Okay. It's fall. It's autumn. And we have an autumn. The world in the Northern Hemisphere is literally supporting you energetically to let go of shit you no longer need. If the world, if the earth did not let go of the leaves on the trees, if it did not go through the cycles of autumn and death and rebirth, the rebirth wouldn't happen. I live in a place where it gets really cold, and there are plants that literally will not come back in the spring if they don't have a deep freeze. They need to die on a deep level in order to renew again in the spring. We can't continue to bring life into ourselves and grow and change and renew if we don't let go of the shit that's not serving us. Okay? So you see leaves falling off the trees, go, gonna let go of some stuff. Here's the earth literally reminding me in my vision. Okay, I'm gonna move on because I want to get more in here. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, okay. So let's talk a little bit about the solar plexus. Now, I do not consider myself a master of chakra work or energy work or breath work, but I have been a student. I worked with a guy in India who is fantastic, and he showed me a bunch of stuff. And that's why I haven't specifically put myself out there as somebody who teaches this stuff. But since so many people wanted help with energy, I wanted to just kind of show you what I've learned. For the last 10 minutes, having some interesting sensations in upper chest, throat, and now your jaw. Do you know why? Because you're feeling the activation of your voice, of your throat, of your ability to speak up, speak your truth, communicate your needs, set your boundaries. This is the voice work. This is what I do. Yeah, scares the shit out of me. Yep. And I have found that the things that have made the most difference in my life have been somewhat equal parts terrifying and exciting. Yeah. If you're in your comfort zone, that's where you will stay. Your comfort zone, even if it is draining you, even if it is not necessarily good for you, even if it isn't specifically where you want to be, but you have become comfortable there, you'll stay there. And if that's where you want to stay, or because you're not ready or whatever, that's fine. There's no judgment here of whether or not you choose to change. But when you choose to change and it puts you out of your comfort zone, it's going to be scary. Yeah. Yeah. But I know, because you're here, that you're courageous. I know that you're strong, and I know that you can make the changes that you need to make. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about solar plexus real quick. So this is the point, it's kind of like near the bottom of your breastbone. This energy center is where the light comes in. It is yellow in the, oh my gosh, I don't have the word. The chakra system that we are most aware of. Color frequency. Do you do color frequency? Was that you? I know somebody in our circle does color. Okay, cool. So yellow is the color of the solar plexus chakra, and it's considered like the fire. This is the fire within you, okay? So we can focus on this chakra center as where we're directing the energy when we're doing this work. Know that they're all combined, though. They're all connected. They're not separate. You don't need to work specifically on one chakra, but this one is where you can focus if you want specifically to bring in more energy. Okay, so easy things you can do is that you can eat yellow foods that are alive, right? What are you eating? What are you putting in your body? What are you ingesting? Does it have life in it? Fruits, vegetables, things like that. These have life. They give you life. And again, same with the energy. If it's not giving you life, it might be draining your life. If you're eating dead and unhealthy foods, highly processed foods, lots of sugar, that kind of thing, they're literally taking energy from you. They're not giving you energy, right? So you can eat yellow foods. You can sun your solar plexus. You can get into the light, bring the sun in through your eyes, through your skin, and through the actual solar plexus. When I can, what I love about where I live is that the sun rises really late this time of year. Everybody's already out of the house, gone to school and whatever, and the sun starts shining in this my main window in my living room. I pull my shirt up and I do a little dance, and I move my chakra in a circle to activate the energy there. And this is something that I learned in yin yoga at one point, was that there is a practice where you go into your sitting position and you move like in circles the area of the chakra that you're trying to activate and bring more energy to. So you can do that where you move your spine. It's a little bit hard to isolate, but if you move your spine in such a way that that area is being moved and activated, you're using your muscles, you're using your organs, your bones, your spine to physically bring blood and breath to the area. Okay, so just like when you physically exercise, you're bringing blood flow to those muscles. That helps energize them, that helps increase the flow of life energy. You can do that by moving that area. Okay, and what else? Breath. Okay, this is what I wanted to bring you guys. Start belly dancing. This is your nudge. There you go. So breath, prana, this is the life that enters you, right? We bring life in through our breath. And sorry guys, I'm getting a phone call that I have to ignore and turn my notifications off because I forgot. Excellent. Breath, obviously we need. This is life in our body. We can't live without it. And when we breathe deeply, when we exercise, this is one of the reasons why exercise is so good for our energy. If you exercise and you get your heart rate up, you get your breath rate up, you're breathing deeper. You're bringing more energy into the body, and that is energizing, right? So we typically, you probably have heard this, we typically don't breathe very deeply. We breathe shallowly when we're not thinking about it, which is why meditation is so great, which is why breath work is so great. The vagus nerve, which runs through the center of the body, is activated. Your parasympathetic nervous system is activated when you take long, deep, controlled breaths. So we're going to do a little practice here before too long where we're going to do this. You guys, I'm sure, have all experienced this in some form or fashion. We're going to practice that deep breathing. So we're going to breathe as deeply as we can, which is way deeper than our typical breath. We're going to exhale all the air in our body, in our lungs, which again, we don't typically do. There's usually a section of stagnant air in the bottom of our lungs that doesn't typically get expelled. So once you've let go of the stagnancy, and then bring in more energy and oxygen, breath, deeper into the lungs, you're bringing in more energy into your body. And so I'm going to share with you a few very specific breathwork exercises that I was taught that when I was really low a few years ago, and still, like, I had made some progress, as I mentioned, but I was still quite low in energy and I really wanted more. And I have autoimmune conditions that affect my ability to bring stuff in, but I'm not willing to just be a victim of my circumstance and say, well, I have this condition and therefore I'm never going to have enough energy and this is just my life. No, there's got to be ways. There's got to be ways to overcome. There's got to be ways to heal. There's got to be ways to make some incremental or huge steps to increase my energy. So my guy from India that I was mentioning, his name is Nipun. If any of you want to connect closer with him, he's really fantastic, and he prices his sessions really affordably. So if anyone's interested and wants to do this work more deeply, I can put you in touch with him. But he gave me some breathwork practices that I practiced for, I want to say it was maybe 10 to 15 minutes in the morning before work. You guys are yawning. So this is actually a good sign, because this is you breathing deeper. This is your nervous system resetting itself. It's calibrating, it's balancing. So these breathwork exercises that I started using for only 10 to 15 minutes a day, within 3 days, I had a noticeable difference in my physical energy. 3 days. I was like, wow, like this stuff clearly works. So are you guys ready to learn these practices? Yeah. Okay. You might want Kleenex. I don't know if you're anything like me. I have had a chronic sinusitis type of thing for years, which Yeah, you too. Which I think is probably related to my autoimmune stuff and possibly dietary, which I've been checking. I've been trying different things for years and haven't quite figured it out. I actually have an appointment in a couple of days with an ENT to see if we can figure out what's going on. But as you do this, you're really expelling air. And as you do that, as I do that, I need to blow my nose to clear it as I'm getting there to that point of being really nice and clear. And this actually helps to clear your airways as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause it or mute it for a sec while I blow my. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, I put a hand on my chest and one on my solar plexus, and get yourself into a position where you can breathe nice and deep. If you are sitting in a chair, I will recommend that you come toward the edge of it so you can put your knees down, and therefore, like instead of having, oh, I can't really show you, instead of having your body and your legs, if your legs are down like this, it opens up that space a little bit more, okay? And if you were doing this in the morning or in meditation, you might want to do it on a meditation pillow or similar so that you can have that space nice and open. Okay, so let's just start by taking a couple of really nice deep breaths. Slow and deep as you can, and hold it for just a few seconds. And then slowly release. I personally like to release through the mouth for the first few breaths just to let anything out that is ready to be released. And then after a few breaths, coming to a nice, easy, slow, controlled breathing in and out through the nose. And exhale as far as you can and hold that for a few seconds. And for anybody watching this in replay, if this is challenging for you because it's not a practice that you're used to, don't be hard on yourself. Just let yourself be a little bit uncomfortable. And if you need to take a break and just breathe a little bit normally for a few breaths, do that, and then just come back to it. Breathing deeply as we can, filling our lungs to full capacity, holding and releasing, slow and controlled, until you're fully empty, 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 and hold. Okay, so breathe easy for a moment. That's the first exercise, just the starting point, waking up the lungs, deepening the breath, evening the breath, clearing out the stagnancy, bringing in fresh air. Then from there, I would have to look back into years worth of notes to find the name for the practice. But what we're going to do next is we're going to put our arms up like this. And you're going to pull down energy and close your fist just gently, facing your palms forward. Okay? Yeah. So what we're doing is we're inhaling up and exhaling down through the nose. Nice, and it doesn't have to be super quick, but it is forceful. In and out through the nose. You can start slower if you need to, but we want to increase it so that it's a nice solid rhythm. And as you create that rhythm faster, we don't want to race to go faster or faster, but we want a nice solid rhythm. This is like when you're exercising. If you're exercising, you're just going nice and slow and easy, You're not going to push yourself as much. You want to push yourself just a little bit into a faster pace. And if you think of pulling energy from the air, from the ethers, down into your solar plexus, we're pulling energy into our solar plexus, okay? Nice and deep breath in, full breath out as much as possible. You're breathing as deeply as you can in, as exhaling as deeply as you can out. So your air is going in and out stronger. Think of yourself like a bellows. You guys know what a bellows is? To feed the fire, to breathe air into the fire. That's what you're doing. Your body is the bellows. You're bringing energy in. You're feeding air into that place of fire and bringing energy and heat and fire into your solar plexus, into your body. Okay? So I would do that for about 2 minutes. And then take a breath and a break when you need to. If you're not used to getting this level of oxygen in your body, it will make you feel lightheaded. Okay? So if you need to, just like count to 10 or something and then stop and take a breath or two and then do it again until you feel like you're not lightheaded throughout the entire 2 minutes. Okay? So let's do that again together. We'll say 20. We'll do 20 repetitions, and if you feel like you need to take a break, do it. Don't push through, okay? Because I don't want anybody passing out. Okay, ready? Okay, I've lost count, but I think that's 20. Breathe easy. I'm feeling a little lightheaded because I haven't been doing this work every day for the last several months. And I'm getting warm. Imagine that. Okay? You'll literally feel yourself get hot. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm a hot person. Okay. So that's the next step. Number 3, we are going to be doing, put your fingers in front of your mouth. It doesn't have to be touching, just in front of your nose a little bit so you can feel your exhale with one hand on your solar plexus, okay? And what we're doing, again, is deep breath in, deep breath out. And you're doing it as much in and out as you can. Now, if you have to go slower than this, that's fine. The point is to get as deep in and deep out as you can. The speed is secondary, okay? The speed at which you can do it will come as your lungs get stronger and able to exhale and inhale that quickly. And again, if you have to do it slower, don't feel bad about that. I've been doing breath work my whole life as a singer, so my lungs are good and strong. But just take your time doing it however slow you need to get that full deep breath in, full deep breath out. But again, we are pushing to be a little bit more forceful in and out, okay? So what I started with was, I think it was 20 at a time, and then I worked myself up to 50, worked myself up to 100. Stop when you need to get your breath and to not be lightheaded, okay? So we're just gonna do that over and over again, and you should feel like your abs, your intercostal muscles, everything, all this whole musculature is working hard, okay? So take the breaks when you need to. Ready? And you should feel your whole body moving with this effort. As far in and as far out as you can. Take the break. Take the breath. Do it again. really on fire now. Slippers are coming off. My feet are hot. I'm just going to show you guys, if I can show you just how far my stuff is moving here. Like full in, full out, okay? As much as you can. And blowing my nose. How are you feeling so far? Is this feeling good? Are you feeling lightheaded? Throw in a little comment. Let me know how you're doing. My nose burns. It's not used to this, right? So this actually is really helpful to help clear out congestion as well. Like if you feel yourself getting sick, if you have allergies, anything like that, doing this work will help clear. Physical heaviness around your heart. Ah, okay, yeah. So as I mentioned when we started, because we're not separate, our energy from our physical, you got a lot of movement going on. You're activating your body. You're bringing blood flow and oxygen and physical energy to this whole space, right? So yeah, it's going to activate. And you might, if you're doing this work while you're doing the emotional work that you're doing, or shadow work, or just everyday life, you might find yourself releasing. You might find that it activates in you an emotional release. And just know that that's normal and it's good, okay? Give yourself the, oh, lightheaded but energized. Yeah, cool. Yeah, exactly. Just make sure you take the time to recalibrate in between. Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. I can't remember what I was saying. Someone remind me. Releasing. Yes, because we hold energy in our body. We hold trauma in our body. We hold repressed emotion in our body, right? And a lot of the times this is activated when we do deep breath work. Quick side story. I was years ago, before I ever started doing energy work, I was in a vocal pedagogy session with this vocal teacher from Germany, and she had me doing these huge, she called them monkey breaths. It was like and it was just this huge like and all the musculature that I use as a singer was being exercised in a way I had never done before, and I was just like and then I started bawling out of the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, what just happened? She's like, it's all good, it happens. It's like, okay, just let me finish sobbing here and we'll keep on singing. It was so funny. But this is what happens. We hold stuff in our body, and when we activate that, it's like, oh, I guess it's time to come up and release. So try to let it happen naturally as it's coming up to be released, and know that this is a good thing. Okay? Okay, and then the last breathwork exercise that I will show you is more for activating the flow of energy all the way up and then all the way down. This is a gentler one, but we want to clear first. And this helps to clear. And if you are, I'll throw in an extra actually, if you are experiencing any allergies or something where you really want to just clear your sinuses, you can block one nostril and just breathe in and out through that nostril. Nice, deep, slow, or like quick exhales just to help clear. And then do the other one. This is a really good practice to just help clear things. So once we've done the clearing, once we've done the energizing, now we have all this energy in our solar plexus region, and it's ready to be dispersed through the body. So you put two fingers, your, hold on, nope, yeah, it's those two, your index and your middle finger, above your eyebrows. So this is to connect to your pineal gland, your third eye. And then you put your thumb on one side and your ring finger will go to the other side, not both at the same time. So we do one and then the other, okay? So what we're doing here, and just so you know, I won't go into it because we don't have time for that today, but each of the fingers connects to one of the elements in this system, and the fifth being ether. So we have earth, air, fire, water within the body, and ether, which connects to spirit, right? So we have these two fingers here, and plug one nostril with your thumb. And as you inhale deeply through your other nostril, You are pulling energy up into your third eye. It actually crisscrosses and then goes back down. It's like a figure eight. Imagine a huge figure eight. Up, hold, change nostrils, exhale, down. Okay, so deep breath in, 1. Hold at the top. Deep breath out, release through the other. Hold at the bottom. Now this one we want to create the slower breath like we started with, okay? This one is slow, controlled, deep. Now ideally what we will work our way up to with both of these practices, with the initial breathing that we did and with this one, is that we will do slowly over a count of a certain number, and that can increase as you get more capable of taking a longer, slower breath. You hold for the same number if you can, exhale through the same number, and hold on the release for the same number. I find the hardest for me is to hold at the release when I've got no air in my lungs. That's hardest for me. Sometimes I can't hold it for the same amount of time, but that's what we're trying to do. We're bringing the energy up, it's circling through, it's feeding our third eye and our crown, and it's coming back down through the body. So now we are activating more of a circular energy flow throughout our body. All that energy we brought in is now flowing through the body, okay? So let's do a few of those together. And when you get to the top and the bottom, you can plug both to hold it, okay? So deep breath in, 1 nostril. Plug and hold. Exhale slowly through the other. Plug and hold. Now the next one, you inhale through the second nostril. Plug and hold. Exhale through the next. We'll do this a couple more times. And breathe easy. All right. Were you guys able to imagine and envision and pull that energy up through and down? Yeah? Okay. All right, so how do you feel? This sequence of stuff, so nice, deep, easy breaths, pulling the energy down, exhale this way, and then bring it up and down and around. You can do this a couple of minutes per practice or per breath, per type. I don't know why my brain isn't bringing in words today. And over the course of 10 to 15 minutes, that's enough to really energize you. Last exercise was quite strong for you. I don't doubt it. That doesn't surprise me at all because you're very connected to your third eye. Yeah. Honestly, amazing. Yay! All right, so check in with your bodies and just ask yourself, do you feel now like you've been energized? How do you feel in your body? Do you notice it? Like this is a kind of a smaller version of it because we didn't do it solid for like 15 minutes. We just started and stopped. Love it. I do practice breath work, but forget to use it to increase energy. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I know you do breath work. Yeah, so none of this is probably new to you. Maybe some of the practices you haven't done specifically, but you know the power of breath work. You know how that works in your body. Yeah. Really joyful, playful feeling emerging. Amazing. Yes, this is the sunlight in you. This is the sunlight in you. And you know what? Further to that, let me just remind you that inside of all of us is a little beautiful child that is perfect and innocent and has not been jaded by the world. That is our default energy. This is how we wanted to show up in the world before we were told to do something different, before we were told to be less or not so loud or you're too much or whatever. That part of you wants to play, wants to be joyful, wants to frolic through the meadows. Okay. Feel like I'm floating light in your heart center. Oh, beautiful. Perfect. So glad. Feel the energy like tingling in my whole body. I feel like an energized battery. Yes. Yes. That's what we're doing. We're filling up our battery, you guys. Awesome. I'm really, really happy you all came today. I just want to quickly let you know that I'm starting a new monthly membership. There's zero pressure for you to join, but I just want to let you know that it's happening. I realized a little while ago when I decided to do this session today, it instantly came to me that all the work that I do actively affects our energy. And that's what I've been doing for myself for the past 8 years is bringing up my physical energy so I can be well, so I can show up, so I can have scheduled appointments and not worry about if I'm going to wake up feeling like garbage that day. I can show up for all of my scheduled appointments because I pretty much don't get sick anymore. I feel good every day. I'm no longer bogged down by daily fatigue. And that has to do with fulfilling your purpose. It has to do with living your purpose and not allowing your energy to be leaked out into all these different things that bring you down. The more you step into your purpose as a person, as a healer, as whatever it is that you are meant to do, you will be more energized. The spiritual work has to be done. The physical work has to be done. So I'm putting together this monthly membership is 3 different sessions per month, focusing on those things, focusing on body and physical energy, focusing on purpose and deeper connection to your highest timelines, highest self, angels, other supporting people. And then the third one will be the voice factor. How do we express ourselves? How do we communicate our needs? How do we set our boundaries so that we can be more available for ourselves? And all of these come down to energy. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Actually, I'm going to send the link. Hang on a second here. Because it's available. Copy. Okay, I'm just going to throw it in here. So if you guys want, you can grab that link now and check it out. A lot of emotion moving. I wasn't quite expecting it, how it's showing up. Yeah. So give yourself grace. Give yourself grounding. Drink lots of water. Rest if you need to. Take a bath. Do something that feels good to you. Do something that fills you up and gives yourself the care that you need. Okay? Yeah. So, yeah, really happy to have you guys here. I'm super glad that you showed up. I'm really glad that it helped you in some way. I hope it continues to help you going forward. And if you want to join that monthly membership, please do. And if not, I'll see you again in some other way because I know that we're all in each other's fields for a reason. So keep your eyes open for the upcomings and feel free to message me with any thoughts after the fact, any questions. I'm available and here to help. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Have a really wonderful day. And now you'll feel good and energized going forward with your day.